Okay, good day everyone. So today I'm going to explain about array, right? So in array we have a few types of array. Okay, so at this point let me share you the notepad. The first one is an index array. Second one is associative array, and third one is multi-dimensional array. Okay, right. So we have these three types, and all of these are important, right? So want to see how array works, but I'm going to explain in the very simplest way, okay, of array, so that you can understand the basics of the array. Okay, so first of all, as you know that array is used to store a value which um which consists of few elements, right? So normally when we talk about array, people will think about a value, about the elements, but for me to be exact, it's about key and the value. Key and the value. So in array, we have the key and we have the value. It's important to understand what is a key. It's important to understand what is the value, right? So if you see here, value or elements, key, and then key or index, right? So we could see a few symbols that can actually uh, uh, depict the concepts of the array. Okay, so I think we should go straight forward to the hands-on, okay, of the array, right? So I'm going to give you some. Okay, I'm going to save as er.php. Okay, so we got er.php. So as usual, we must have a php root. Then we're going to use these array constructs to actually um, store an array. Okay, so for example, we have, right, we have A, have B, we have C, right? So this is how we store in an array. For example, $sign A, so I can call it alphabets, right? So I just save it, and so we can see here the variables that holds an array, okay, of A, of elements of A, B, and C, correct? So by default, okay, this is what we call index array, because A has the key. A is associated with the key of 0, B is associated with the key of 1, C is associated with the key of 2. So you can see that index start from 0. So in any other so how are we going to print the values of the of or the elements of the array? So normally we use equal to print out something, right? Okay, so I'm having this, for example. So do you think it is possible to print out the value of ABC, right, by just having equal $sign alphabets? Because at this point, the thing is the $sign alphabets is holding an array, right? So it's not possible. So it's going to have a string, is a conversions error. Okay, we try to run. So we expect it to be a problem. Okay, I'm going to share the applications. Option is option windows. Where's the browser? Tab. Okay. Give me a few seconds. Okay, so you're gonna have this localhost pr.php. So if you see here, array to string conversions, because echo is to print a string, not an array, right? So what happened is, let's say we wanted to print a specific string. For example, we wanted to print out the A, correct? So if you see here, this A, right, we want to print out this, we know that this is the index is 0. Okay, so then we could have an offset, right? So this is a constant, so you should put a quotation, so it becomes a, oh, sorry, this one, alphabets, right? Sorry. Okay, so the key is 0 because we wanted to call for an A, right? Okay, so we expect it to print out the A. Okay, so I just save it. Okay, just run it. So it's gonna be A here, right? Let's, oh sorry, I forgot to share the code. So let us see the code, right? So if you see here, I put $alphabet 0. You can see here the key that I put is 0. Okay, that means a key 0 is associated to A, so we are calling an A, right? What about if we have this alphabet 1 or 2? So it's 1 or 2, so we're gonna expect the screen to have A and C, right? So I try to run the screen. So we're gonna have A and C. Okay, so you can see here we have A and C is being outputted because the code says that print out alphabet 0 and alphabet 2. So 0 is the key for 1, sorry, 0 is the key for A and 2 is the key for C. Okay, so let's just imagine if you have 1000 elements of values, are you going to write 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 until 1000? So it's not something practical, right? 1000, or maybe a commercial system, you're going to have at least 10,000 users. So it's going to be something not really practical. So that's why you must use a loops. Okay, you must use a loops to iterate each of the elements. Okay, right? So before we go into that, all right, I just want to um uh show this, right? Is whereby we have $alphabets 0 and 2. It looks legal, right? But the question is it okay? So this is what we call a multi-dimensional array, right? So it's not going to work in this case, right? It's not going to work in this case because we have only one dimensions, right? So it's not going to work. Okay, yeah, right? So I'm going to share code. Sorry, I forgot to share the notepad. The one that you see in the Windows is associated to this code, right? It's associated to this code. So this is what I said, right? This is what I mentioned just now, all right? $alphabets 0 2. That means I wanted to print a key 0 and then go inside that 0 values, so it's gonna be more elements there, right? So this is a multi-dimensional array. So okay, so this is not possible because it's gonna be have offset issues. Okay, so let's go back to this. alphabets. So this one is possible. You're going to print out A and C. Okay, so maybe you want to have break in between. Not a problems, right? If you run this, A is going to be on top, and then break on the new lines. The program is going to print out C. Okay, right? But we wanted to print out the whole key, right? So you have ever think of loops, right? So loops is very important. So you're going to find something like for each loops, and is a normal loop which is for in that has an arguments in which you initialize a value inside the argument. But wait for a while. Okay, I'm going to show you first how to print out the key and value. Okay, so like I said, echo is specifically to print out a strings. Okay, so we have this print underscore r, okay, and $ alphabets. So the question is, what is this print underscore r do? Okay, print underscore r is to print out the key and the value. So what is the key and the value? So you know that 0 is to A, 1 is to B, 2 is to C. So they're going to print out the value. So I'm going to run this code, right? Okay, I'm going to share you the screen. Okay, hold on. Share application. Tabs, localhost. Right. Okay, so if you see here, right? So 0 is to A, 1 is to B, 2 is to C. Okay, so this is key, this is value, this is key, this is a value, this is a key, and this is a value, right? So it is very important. One of the important things to know what is a key and value is because when you go into a files chapters, you're going to have to upload the files. Then the files is being stored in a manner of or in a way that they have the key and the value. So the key will be the file name, and another key will be the extension, for example, .jpeg, .png, and so forth, right? So that's why it's very important to actually know this key and the value, right? So go back to the code. Okay, so go back to the code, right? So you can see here, right, this is the purpose of print underscore r, is going to print out the key and the value. But what about if you simply call an offset here, right? So this is looks like how to say, it looks like the examples which is similar to the one that uses the echo, right? Yes, right. And you know that print underscore r is going to print out the key and the value. So is it possible to call an offset? Yes, it's possible. So if you have this, it's going to print out, it's going to display, right? So it's going to display an A. So if you try to run the code, it's going to display an A. Okay, so I'm going to show you the screens. Okay, my local host share. So if you see here, it's going to be an A on the screen, right? Okay, hopefully you can see that, right? Because you just call that functions. Okay, well, okay, you stay at the screen. What about if I try to change to alphabets? And for this example, I'm using you know the long variables, right? Alphabets. So I think we have a tendency to make to write wrong variables, maybe missing some alphabets. So, but that's okay. And plus, this is a class notepad, so they don't have something like edit tools to help us when you write a variables come out. Then you can just choose. I just need to be careful on this, right? So that's my point. I'm going to print out $sign alphabets 1. Okay, I'm going to run the code. Okay, so it's going to be A and B, right? So it's going to be A and B, right? So let us see the codes. So how does it looks like? Okay, so this is the code, right? So this is almost similar to the echo concept just now. I'm having break in between, but it's just that I'm changing to 1. That's it, right? Okay, so this is what we call index array. But we have also another questions that if we have index array, we have the key 0, can we change the 0 to something else? Maybe we can change the 0 to A or 0 to Y, or maybe in fact we can change the 0 to your name. For example, your name is Lim, so you can change the key 0 to Lim. Yes, it is possible, right? That's what we call an associative array. Okay, so if you see here, right, I'm going to delete this, right? So if you see here, you have the arrow there, right? And then we're going to have Lim, okay, and then we're going to have Ravi, and then we're going to have Azlan. Okay, right. So A is Lim, B is to Ravi, C is to Azlan. So you need to remember that left is left is always the key, right is always the value. Left is always the key, right is always the value. So this is left and this is right. This is left, this is right. This is left, this is right. So how many values you have? Don't say 6. It's 3. 1, then comma, 2, then comma, and C, right? So we have 3 values, right? So what happens when, okay, let's just, if you want to be safe, just use print underscore R. Okay, so let's print everything. What's going to happen is going to print A is to Lim, B is to Ravi, C is to Azlan, right? So, okay, but what if I just simply call the key, for example, B, right? Just now you call number, so it's going to be Ravi. You just call it Ravi. What about if you have, for example, 1? Okay, what do you think will happen? Okay, it is going to be an offset issues because 1 has been overwritten by the Ravi. Okay, so I'm going to share you the screens, right? So the screen shows that the browser is the browser. Oh, okay, this one. So it says that undefined offset 1 in CSAM htdocs error.php on line 5. Okay, so this is because the index is 1. Okay, right? So we wanted to fix it back. Sorry. We wanted to fix it back. Then I changed the key to B because we wanted Ravi to be there, right? So then we can have Ravi because I changed back the key to B. Okay, right? So I'm going to share you the screen. Okay, I'll wait for a few seconds. It takes sometimes. Okay, right. So it's going to be B. So you see the key, right? It's almost similar to index array, but it's just that for associative array means there must be a key associated to the values, and the values is associated to the key. Doesn't matter in which sequence you see these things, but there is a partner, you know, key and the value, key and the value, key and the value. So when you wanted to call, you're going to call a key, right? So you don't call a value. Okay, so multi-dimensional array, right? So let me explain about multi-dimensional array, right? Okay, so you can just see here, multi-dimensional array, it's the array inside array, right? Array inside array. Okay, so what is array inside array? So the first value, okay, before that, so you know that, right? Values is separated by a comma. Okay, so let's say I'm having how many commas here? All right, 2. Okay, so that means the first value is here, which is an array, right? So you can just see here, guys. You have array. This array has the value towards this array. So this is what we call array inside array. And we have a value of A, and here we have a value of B, but here we're gonna have C, right? And here we're gonna have D, right? Okay, right? So you have to look at carefully, right? This is an array. So how many values inside this array? Is gonna be 3 values. The first one is this, the second one is this, the third one is this, right? So this is having an index of 0, this is having an index of 2, this is sorry, 1, and this is having an index of 2, right? So we can actually again put and associate here, right? This, for example, this associate to this as a key, but let's not make things complex. Let's go to the basic things, master the basics, then only you can go for the more complex things. Complex does not necessarily to be difficult. It just means there are a lot of components. It's the same basics, but when you combine the basics, it's going to be a lot of components. So when there are a lot of components, it's difficult for you to imagine in your head. So maybe you need to draw somewhere else so that you don't forget, you could support your imagination. All right, okay. So in this case, guys, okay, how would I, okay, right? How would I call this, right? Okay. Sorry, alphabet. That's okay. Give me some time. Okay. So when I'm having these codes, guys, print out the alphabets. So you expect it to print 0 is to array, all right? And inside that array, you're gonna have 0 is to A, 1 is to B, right? And continue with value 1 is to C, 2 is to D, right? So I'm going to share you the screens. Okay, so you can see here, right? Okay, this is an array and this is 0 to this array. 1 for C, 2 is to D. And in within here, you have another inside 0 is to A, 1 is to B. So these things is a multi-dimensional array, right? So we go back to the code, okay? We go back to the code, this is the notepad, okay? What about if we call 0, right? What about if we call 0, okay? So it's gonna be, okay, if you have this one, okay, so it's gonna say is that, okay, it's gonna print the key and value for this one. But if you have this, right, there's gonna be a problem because echo, they wanted to find a specific strings, but if you say 0, they can only access, right, these values, and they can't access which key is either values A or B, right? So what you should do, right? So you need to have this one, for example, 1. So 0, when you try to see this, equals, okay, equal alphabet 0, 1 as a key. So 0, key 0 is these values. 0, here is 1, here is 2. So this is 0. And inside 0, this is 1. So it's going to be B, right? So it's going to print out B, okay? Right? So I'm going to share you the screen. I have run the screen just now. So it's going to be B. Make it bigger, right? Much easier. Okay. Oh, I supposed to make it bigger from the beginning, but that's okay. Okay. So let's go back to the code, right? This is what we call multi-dimensional array. Okay. What about if? Okay. What about if? Okay. What about the value C and D? Okay, this is a normal array. This is not a multi-dimensional array, right? So remember, this is how you write the multi-dimensional array. There's no dot there, right? There's no dot there. It would not works, right? So there's no dot there, right? Okay, but unless you have alphabet 1 also, right? It's gonna be a pro. It's the alphabets ones is gonna be C, right? But for alphabet 0 is gonna be a problem because they can't access, because it is a multi-dimensional array, so you need to access it. Okay, so now let's go back to the how to iterate in between this value. Let's use a simple, right? Simple values A, B, C, D, right? So normally what you have, for loops, right? So just write for loops. Okay. So we have dollar sign. Okay, why I'm having dollar sign I assigned to 0? Okay, is because I wanted to get a value how many iterations. So dollar sign I is less than what? 1, 2, 3, 4. You know that you're going to have 4 values, and then dollar sign I plus plus. The thing is, this is something like not practical, right? If you have the values is 1000 somethings, I believe that you're not going to calculate manually, right? So you must be using something which is uh, automatic. So we have special functions, right, to count the value of an array automatically, right, which is count. Okay, and then we store in a variable called dollar signs exec example, right? And here is dollar sign exec. Right? So let me check the spellings. Like I said, it's a classic, not bad. Okay, so that means it's going to count this. So it's going to be 4. Okay, this dollar sign exec is going to be 4, right? So if you 0, so this will be the index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Looks, it's not an index, but it looks like an index, right? So you can start from 1, but here is you're gonna have the equal, right? So just make it at 0. Okay. So, and here you're gonna print out dollar sign alphabets, and then key. So you know that you want to print out alphabet 0, alphabet 1, alphabet 2, alphabet 3, alphabet 4. So here is going to be the dollar sign I, because the first iteration is going to be 0, second iteration is going to be 1, third, 3, and 4th, right? So when it goes to when I is 4, it's going to check these conditions, either is less than SX, which is 4, which is 4 is going out, right? So I'm going to put a break here so that after each of the elements, you're going to have a break. Okay, I'm going to run the code. Okay, right. So I'm going to share you the screen. I think. So you're gonna see here vertically ABCD because of the break code, right? Okay. So let's go back to the code. Okay. So we have this one. Okay. Maybe is a good practice to use another so-called built-in functions of loops, which is for each. Is a special functions for array. So this is what I call for each, right? Well, you know, right? This thing is optional. It's okay if you don't have this, but only the first statement will be automatically belongs to the for each. But it's a good practice to use this. Okay, right? So this is very simple. Okay, so we don't need the count. Okay, we're gonna have $sign alphabets as $sign E. We're gonna print $sign E, right? And then break. Okay, so if you see here, guys, what happened is this value of A, B, C, D is going to be stored in the alphabets, and this alphabets is going to store the 4 values, which is A, B, C, D, right? And then this alphabets, which is A, B, C, D, the A is going to, the values is going to pass here one by one. For example, it's going to pass A, right? Then uh, A will be print out and then check again B, C, D, and until looping until there is no more elements is going to get out from the loop. So this is much easier compared to the normal the common for loops, right? So you can see here, and when you print things, it's going to be A, B, C, D. So in the screen, this is going to be A, B, C, D. Okay, right? So and another thing is oh yeah, let me share the screen. So if you see here, the output is similar to the previous code. Okay, so you have ABCD going down from top to down vertically. Okay, right. So now we wanted to see how about if we have associative array. Okay, A is to hello, B is to world, C is to again, D is to boring. So hello world again boring, right? So let me change it. Okay, so we have this associative array. Okay, we have this associative array. So we wanted to print out the key and the value. Okay, so we wanted to print out the key and the value. So you could have this one. Okay, what we need to do is simply adding this $sign 3. So what you need to do, and you're going to print out, for example, this is the key. I'll just make it value. Value is V. Okay, equal value. Okay, and then we have uh, key. So I purposely write on the opposite. So $ key, right? Then dot break. So this is a strings, and then this is concatenations, and this is $V. It can stand on its own concatenations. This is a string, concatenation, and this is a key. Right? Then this is a break. So it's the same thing. Right, so I just put here. So it is the same things. You have A is hello, A is to hello, B is to world, C is to again, D is to boring. So everything is going to be stored in alphabets, and alphabets variables is gonna send this alphabets is gonna send the value of key and value here, right? So when you run the things, okay, okay, this is what you get, right? I already run just now. Okay, so you can see here you have this is the value, this is a strings, this is the hello, and this is the key, this is the A, right? And here hello world, and again, and this is boring. So it goes to the next lines is because of the brackets, and this full colon is because of the strings that printed out by the programs. Okay, right? Okay, right. So now I wanted to jump into a multi-dimensional array, right? So let's jump into the multi-dimensional array. Okay, so multi-dimensional array. So array what, and then array, okay, what, okay, what means that? Not sure yet what to put, or unknown. Okay, so this is A, this is B, this is C, this is D, right? So you can just simply see that uh, this array, and inside you have two values, and inside array you have two values. So when you call $alphabets, you wanted to call for B, so it's going to be dollars equal $alphabets 0 and 1. Okay, but here we wanted to iterate this multi-dimensional array. Okay, so you know that you need this, right? This is the structures because this is the first key. Okay, this is the first key and this is the second key, right? So you can use the for each, right? Okay, so you can use the for each. Okay, so when you take the for each $alphabet as, right, $key and $value. So remember, when they bring this, right, so this will be the values, right? This will be the values. Okay, so this V you have to bring down here. If I hope you understand again, right? $alphabets, they will bring this array. This is the value. This is the value which we have two values, right? And we have the key which is 0, right? Okay, so uh in this case is sorry, right? So in this case is when you bring the key and the when you bring the key and the value, sorry, it's key, right? Okay, right. Oh, sorry, there's okay. So $alphabet, right? Okay, you have as a key. So when you bring the key, right? So you bring the array and then you still need to for each inside, right? Okay? You still need to for each inside. Okay? Right. So then dollar sign key as dollar sign B, for example, right? It's going to be dollar sign B. But let me check. Oh, okay. So okay, what is the meanings of these programs here, right? So means that we wanted to see the A, B, C, D, right? Okay, so there's no break here. Okay, so you want to break, right? I can show you the screen. Okay, so they wanted to access. If you see here, in the screen, share the code. Okay, wait for a while. Sorry. I should share the yeah, right? Oh, I should share the window. Sorry. Okay. Okay, this is A, B, C, D, right? So we go back to the code. Okay, come on. Okay, right. So we have for each alphabets which holds actually I make it as a dollar sign K. It does not reflect the key that will bring the values, right? So the values is this one, the array that has the values of A and B, and the array that have the value of C and D, right? Is being checked again, right? So that means it's being checked again, right? And then this one, okay, one by one is gonna pass A, B, right? Okay, right? So and then check again, okay, the value is done, then go back to for each, right? So check again for the second times and go inside and check again for this, right? So if you see here, let me just do some indent so you can see clearly, right? So okay, the first iterations is this alphabet is holding two values. So the first values will be stored here, and the first values is going to check again, which is having two values, and done for the A, right? And then done for the B, okay, and then go back again, which is these second values, and then check again, done for the C, and done for the D, right? Okay, so alternately you can have this as well, right? Normal for, right? But for the multi-dimensional array, I personally love to use these normal loops, right? Understand? I is equal to uh, uh, 0. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Sorry. I tried to is to okay is to okay is to 1 and 2, right? So the first array you're gonna have two values and dollar sign I plus plus. Okay, right? So once you check for the first one, then you're gonna check the second, right? Dollar sign I is equal to 0. Dollar sign I is less than 2. Sorry, it's not. Yeah, it's 2. Okay, and then dollar sign I plus plus, right? and you're gonna echo $ alphabets, and then brick. Okay. Right, so I just go for indent. Okay, what this program does is actually okay, what this program does is actually to have these iterations for 2 times. Okay, so the first iterations, okay, right, okay, uh, sorry, let's use the A. All right, okay, let's use the A. Sorry, I'm gonna fix this. Okay, what I do is, guys, actually, you know, right, the structures of the multidimensionals, they have this one. So the purpose I'm having the loopings is I just want to get this value. It's either 0, 1, or 0, 0, or 0, 1, okay, or 1, 1, something like that, right? Because in order to access A is going to be 0 and 1, okay? In order to access C is going to be 1 and 1, right? So I wanted to iterate this value. So that's why if you see here I is 0, okay, I is 0, so that means I is 0, and then do the loops again. A is 0, 0 less than 2, yes, so it's going to be here I is 0 in the memory, okay? I just show you in the memory, not in the codes, right? So it's going to be 0, 0. So you know where is 0, 0? This is the value of 0, and this is going to be A, and it's going to be brick. Then go back again here, not this one, you go back to here, okay, right? It goes back to here, okay? So now it becomes 1, 1 is less than 2 is going to be 0 and 1, right? Like I said, this is not, I just showed an example. It doesn't change here. This is in the codes, but assume that in the memory change to 1, and then now when it goes to here, this is 2 less than 2. It's not right. So it goes out from the loops. It go back to this loop, which is 1. Then do again. Then this is 1, right? And this is 0, so it could be 1 and 0, and then 1, 2, and then finish things, right? So but this value is held by a $I and $A, right? I'm going to run. So still is going to be A, B, C, D, right? So I'm going to share you here. Okay, come on, waiting for the things to come out. Oh yeah, right. So it's going to be A, B, C, D. Okay, clear? Right. Okay. So okay, if you look at back the code, right, we have now going back to code, right, I'm going to show you the another examples of the sorting, right? So we have 2 types of sort. We have sort, R sort, K sort, R sort, AR sort, KR sort. Okay, so if you look back at the code, okay, so sorting is very important, so let's use the for each, right? Okay, let's use this simple. Okay, so we have A, C, B, right? So we have for each $A as $A. Is it possible to have the same variables? Yes, it will be overwritten, right? But just now I'm writing a different variables, right? But now I'm using same one, right? So then brick. So why I'm having bricks? I wanted to make sure it's going to go vertical. Okay, right. So if I print out this, uh, if I print out this, it's supposed to be ABC, right? Okay. Uh, Wait, I'm going to check some problems here. Oh, should be alphabets, right? It's okay to have A and alphabets. So it's going to be ABC. So I'll try to run this. It's going to be ABC. Let's see the browser. Where's the things? Okay. Sorry, it's going to be ACB. Okay. All right. So if you just leave it, by default, it's going to arrange according to a key. So when you have the sorting, right? When you have the sorting, okay, now branch, okay, sort, okay, is gonna check for the value which is ABC, okay. So ABC, all right. As I'm showing the codes, I changed something in the code. Okay, I added this line. Okay, I added this line sort. Once you have these variables, this array values inside these variables, then you sort this according to the values. So values is ACB, so in sequence it should be ABC, right? What about if you have R sort? Is the same, it's the same output, right? But what about if you have key sort, right? It's based on the key, right? So it's going to be ACB for the key sort because key is 0, 1, 2, so it's just following the key. Right, let's go to R sort. Right, if you put reverse, which is R, oh sorry, AR sort, okay. So for the R sort is going to be ABC and the opposite is going to be CBA, right? Right, let me show this, let me shows the screen. I just, okay, let me show the screen. So you can see the screen CBA, right? So okay, what about if we change to K R sorts? That means based on the key, which is ACB, but on the opposite is going to be BCA, right? Because of the KR sort, right? So I'm going to show you the codes. Okay. Okay, it's going to be BCA because why? Right? Oh, sorry, it's supposed to share the codes, not the. Okay, okay, because of why? Because of KR sort. Okay, KR sort says that according to the key by in the reverse order. So the key is A. Okay, the value is ACB. A is 0, the key is 0. C, the key is 1. B, the key is 2. So it's going to be ACB, right? So when you go back, it's going to be BCA, right? So remember, you have this sys sort, which is sort, R sort, and K sort, right? So R sort, when you know the first three sortings, then you know that the R sort, the AR sort and the KR sorts is the only opposites, right? So what I'm talking just now is this one, right? You have sort, okay? You have A sort, which is on the value. You have K sort, which is on the key. Okay? right? This is based on the value, and this is based on the key. And here is our sort and AR sort and KR sort. So this is the opposite of this. AR sort is opposite of this, and this is opposite of this, right? Okay, so now we wanted to move to converting strings to array and array to strings, right? So, but now we have okay. Let's assume that the initial state of any data is in the strings, right? So that means but if your state is in the if your state is in the array, so that means you want to call back the strings to array, so you're gonna call it as an import. So we use include. But if you are strings, you're going to change back to array, and then you're going to export things. So it's going to be explode. It depends on how you try to remember those things. But we have a few examples here. Okay, I'm going to share you the codes. Okay, okay, okay. Let me delete this. Okay, right. So we're going to have a few examples. Okay, right. Okay, so we have this array, right? We have this array. We have this array, and then we have these words. Hello world again. Okay. So you store it in a $sign a. Oh, for this time I'm using a short variables. It's easy for me, right? So you want, this is an array. You wanted to convert. You wanted to convert to a string. So what you need to do, like I said, include, and you're gonna have $sign a, right? $sign a. Okay, gonna have $sign a, and this is the okay. What does these things do? This is they take an array, right? Okay, and this is a separator, right? So separator is optional in include, because you don't have to tell, you just want to make all of this as a strings. You don't have to tell which one when is the stop points. But even if you put here comma, then it's going to be a separator, right? We'll sign a, restore again. Okay, so we use equal. Is it possible to use equal a? Yes, that's possible because, okay, because $sign a now is holding a string, not an array, right? Okay, so when I print this out, okay, let me share the screen. Okay, so you can see here it's going to be hello world again. So now, okay, what if I don't have a separate here? Okay, sorry, right? So, right, this is a separator of the space, but now I don't have any separator, so it is close by to each other. So let me show the code. Right. Okay, so if you see here, this is a space, so it's going to make a space just now, hello world again. But if you don't have space, you just simply have this, it's going to be hello world again close by together, right? So now what about if we have a string, then we wanted to make it as an array, right? This is a string. Hello, my name is, okay, nice to meet you. Okay, right? So here is explode, need to explode, right? So here is, okay, what are we going to do is actually this is a strings we wanted to convert to E, right? So what's going to happen here? I'm having nothing here, so when you run, it's going to be a problem, okay? Because uh, separator is important, because if you want to make an array, you don't tell the computers where is the stop point. So now I'm telling the computers comma is the stop point. So after this is the first element, then comma, then the next is the second element, then the next is the third element. So that's why separator is very important. Okay, right? So is it okay now? Is it okay now? Still not okay. Because of why? Because A is holding an array, so you cannot use equal. Okay, right? So you must use a print underscore R. Okay, right? So, right? Because A is now an array. Okay, so when you run, okay, you can see the screens. Come on, okay. So you can see the screen 0 is to hello, 1 is to my name is John, 2 is to nice to meet you, because of the comma things, right? Okay, what about if we change the separator to Y? What do you think will happen? It will read this. Okay, now I'm changing to Y as a separator. So it will read this. When you meet Y, it stops and it start again. When you meet Y, it start again, right? So you can see here, right? So, okay. So if you see I'll show you the screens. I just run it. Okay. Come on. Okay. So if you see here, 0 is to hello, comma M, right? If based on the code, hello, comma M, and then Y is not taken, and then Y, okay, is the name is John. Okay, name is John. Okay, nice to meet, and then Y is not taken, then OU, right? So you can see here MY, Y is not taken, U, Y is not taken, right? So you need to understand these things, okay? This is very, very important, okay? So the conversions of how, what methods you try to remember from explode, or for implode and explode is up to you, okay? Right? So guys, I think that's all for today, but you just need to remember that you really need to you really need to understand the mechanisms, how these functions work for for some built-in functions in an array, right? So okay guys, have a good day. Bye bye.